So last week I made an appreciation video but never aired it because I wasn't home when I made it, and as soon as I got home I went straight from moving into one home to another. But I really appreciate all the love and support I've been getting on the content that we've been putting out. I shot the appreciation video. I didn't realize I'd be taking all this time off from making content, but sometimes life doesn't really always pan out the way that you want it to, and there's unexpected things that come up in life. So where have I been? Well, as some of you know, my wife and I decided to separate the day before we went under quarantine. So someday that will be funny to me that I was quarantined with my future ex-wife. But anyways, she went out, immediately bought a home, and so the plan was I was going to stay in the home that we were renting, but then I was also running my business out of, and obviously you can tell I've got a different backdrop behind me right now, or lack of backdrop. But the homeowners decided that now was the perfect time to sell their home, even though I told them that I was deliberately renting their home because I thought the market was overvalued and I wanted to camp out there for the next financial crisis. And so that was just a gigantic 1-2 punch of boom, finding out we're getting divorced, and boom, finding out I've got to move all of a sudden. And I know I could have been a jerk and I could have stayed there, but best just a sign I needed to get out of there. Wanted to move out before we got into the heat of the summer over here. So that was March 16th, finding out that we're separating. March 17th, finding out that we're moving. Meanwhile, I was pumping out about 3 videos a day with Luke, doing videos with Josh, doing videos with John. All while never having more things going on at work, more things going on in personal life, and just had to take a step back. Now the other thing is actually with my voice. I lost my voice at Acapulco and never really got it back. I mean, it was obviously a lot better than when I was there, and I still don't fully have it back. But right now my nose is all stuffed up from moving and being super allergic to all the Palo Verde trees out there, and it was just so many things going on. It was just a non-starter to even think about making videos. And while all this was going down, I was just overwhelmed on every front. Luke and I had a little falling out over Telegram text messages, and basically I was in no mood to be dealing with the drama between him and Josh. And I had to focus on getting my own life back in order and not dealing with whatever bullshit they wanted to deal with at the time. And speaking of getting my life back in order, still haven't really fully done that, mainly because I've been moving into the new home, which is pretty much accomplished as of yesterday. And I am having a little audio issue out there where for some reason none of my headphones now are working, and my 2 new monitors I got, there's no sound coming out of there, so some sort of driver issue I need to figure out. Anyway, so if we have any audio nerds or computer nerds out there that can help me out, that would be awesome. And behind me you can tell we do have a bit different backdrop, or lack of backdrop. The new studio actually is pretty awesome, even though it probably doesn't look really any awesome, but I've got a lot more room where we're on like phase 1 right now. Phase 2, I've got tables and chairs behind me that are set up pretty nice, where I'm going to get multi-camera angle, be able to have guests in here and really do it up. So unfortunately, I do have that software driver issue that has been plaguing me right now, and just with the falling out between Luke and I was like, what, I'm not, that's not going to be a big priority. There's other things I need to do. Boxes need to unpack. Need to go, clean up the other house, get all the sound paneling stuff out there. So all that's done now, and I guess it was 106 degrees for a few of those days during the move. But doing this without having any friends or family around, going through separation is tough enough. Then having to move with no friends or family around while you're underneath quarantine, and basically having everything that you love doing taken away from you, including my the private community I'm in. The pools are closed, the tennis courts are closed, even though they have opened up public pools. But this is private, so they've decided privately to that's what they want to do. And they've also decided that when they are going to open, that they are going to actually then take away all the lounge chairs. But anyway, these are all little bullshit things, compared to everything else. But let me tell you, let's get into a little story about my first night alone. So I decided to have a couple IPAs, walk to a bar that's about a mile away from my home. I live sort of in the middle of nowhere, so there's like basically one option. So I just didn't want to give cops any more excuses than they already have to harass me. So decided to be responsible and walk. So as I'm walking, I go call up my food order, and as I get my food, It's sort of like a gallows humor laugh. So as I get there, my food is ready, and because my food's ready, they're not allowed to serve me any alcohol, and so I'm also not allowed to eat it there. So here I am, with a bag of, fish and chips in my hand, feeling like I'm having to do a, walk of shame home. So, went out, just walked a tiny bit, found a big rock, sat on the rock, looking out at the, vast nothingness of the desert, about as super socially distanced and isolated meal as you're going to get, and then had to make the walk of shame back home. So that was my first, night out. Not exactly how I'd envision it. Not that I had ever envisioned that. But in regards to Luke, I haven't really talked to Luke about what the future holds because I was not in the frame of mind to be on camera or to get in an argument with anyone because I was pretty much in a major bridge burning mode, or maybe call it like a Nero mode. And anyone that wanted to give me shit about anything, and I just was not having any of it. So I thought it was just better not to even say anything. So this might be his first time seeing this as well. But maybe some of you guys saw a little fallout, even going on Facebook. But personally, I think I'd rather come out with a few super well researched presentations, or maybe one every other month, like Anarchapulco type style, and also focus on things that I like. So getting into deep dive economic analysis with both myself and John Sneisen, not just going through and reading Zero Hedge, although I do love Zero Hedge. I do want to focus more on some more like libertarianism, voluntarism topics, crypto. Do some deep dive into economic issues, and ultimately not here to be here to be liked. I'm here to help spread the truth, help rid the world of central banks, and that's really all. And since I own my own business, I don't have to worry about outside funds cutting me off. All the clients that got mad at my rantings left 2 years ago, and the others who might not agree with me, agree with my commitment to their success. And so, throughout all these hardships, it really has, I think, made me stronger. But, sometimes you need to move a few steps backwards in order to move, a lot of steps forward. And I think that's something probably the government could learn, a thing or two about too, because, we have a government that is, never willing to take any short-term pain or, for these longer-term gains. So guess what? We're always going to be in pain until the world wakes up and realizes we don't need government, we don't need mind control. And and this is something I got from Jeff Berwick in one of his talks 3 years ago at Nexus Earth, when I heard him say, mente, so for government, so mente comes from mente, and I believe it's gubernaire, but anyways, mente means mind, gubernaire is controlling. So literally, government, the root words of it trace back to mind control, and who wants to be mind controlled? Well, apparently I guess a lot of people want to be mind controlled. But anyways, going forward, I want to focus more on doing my own thing, continuing the Tim and John show, maybe try and get more guest spots once I get caught up with client work, get caught up with things at home. Being there for my daughters is my main motivation in life. And with that said, I'm going to be releasing some unseen footage in the future. Excuse me. I have some interviews that never got posted, and some really good ones at that. Some of these include, ones I shot at Anarchapulco, but what happened is I got back from Anarchapulco, uploaded 2 presentations, only one of which you guys have seen, or if you haven't seen that one, I'd highly recommend checking that out. And then, boom, the next day, the market starts imploding, everything starts going crazy, and, all that, then started doing, 3-4 videos a day, and, and some of these, great evergreen shows that I have never ended up coming out. So yeah, I know one with Jeff Berwick, one with James Turk. Unfortunately, the audio kind of got messed up on that one a little bit. And then one with Sherry Peel Jackson as well. So you guys have, all those to look forward to. Oh, and the biggie. So I actually interviewed Dr. Judy Mikovits March 31st. And then for certain other reasons that did cause some consternation between myself and another individual, I had to, edit another individual out of that. But, if you guys go and subscribe to my podcast, you're going to be that's where I'm going to put that up, because, they're taking anything with Dr. Judy down. So make sure, and if you're listening to this, you probably are subscribed to my podcast, and definitely appreciate everyone. And, basically as far as, change the news goes, just being in that current news cycle 24/7, feeling the need to pump out 3 videos a day on, all this coronavirus bullshit, and just, everything that's going on, 24/7, especially with like where we're at right now with the world. It's just soul crushing. It's all, bullshit anyways. And, I'd rather just focus on maybe getting, really, maybe 2 super high quality videos that I want to do myself, and not because, somebody else thinks that this is what the algorithm wants something to do. And I'm not just talking about one person here, but just, I want to talk about what I want to talk about. And, I don't know, I'm still trying to figure things out, but, anyone that's ever gone through a separation and then, forced to move, and then doing all this under quarantine while having things going crazy on every front, the personal life going insane, home life going insane, the podcast schedule going insane, work schedule insane, Bitcoin price going up also creates a lot of interest in people working with me. I mean, good. Some of these are great problems to have. And that was both on the estate planning side and the IRA side of things. So, it truly has been, 96.50 right now in Bitcoin. But yeah, it truly has been one of the best times and worst times. And, even though I am very tough, even though I am an Iron Man, I am, human. And, I needed to get right with my own mind, need to be a good dad for my children, need to focus on the backlog of client transfers and financial plans and all that comes, that comes before making more content. And I do plan on, having, it's not, I'm going to stop cold turkey. It's going from, coming out with, 100 a month to, maybe trimming that down a little bit. But with that said, here's the thank you video. I wanted to thank all of you wonderful people. And if you aren't subscribed to the podcast, we are having podcast only content that I mentioned before that will be dropping. And believe me, some of those are pretty juicy. That Dr. Judy Mikovits interview is pretty juicy. But there's certain things we can't say on YouTube, and I don't want to get completely taken down, even though I guess it really doesn't matter anyways, because all the other crap that's going on. But definitely appreciate your guys' support. And here's the video that I shot. I mean, now it's probably almost be 2 weeks ago now. I mean, shot probably about 12, 13 days ago. But anyways, really appreciate all the love and support. I just thought I owed it to you guys to let you know what had been going on, and we're gonna keep it on doing this and making sure that we eventually outlast these guys and restore a great world for our children and grandchildren. But thank you, and here's the appreciation video that I made when I was up at Adam Kokesh's wedding 2 weeks ago. Thank you. Hey everybody, it's Picciott, the Liberty Advisor, and for some reason the universe does not want me to make a video today because all of my audio equipment decided that it would not work. So please bear with me on the audio. It's just coming straight from a GoPro right now, but right now I'm off grid in northern Arizona at elevation. So we're at about 5,200 feet elevation, maybe more because I'm on top of a roof, but you probably can hear some of that wind. Let's just give you guys a quick panorama of where we're at. So we are completely off grid, solar power. I mean, very, very difficult spot to get to. I mean, lucky that my vehicle even made it here because I do not have 4-wheel drive. So actually I couldn't even make it up the hill. I had to walk probably the last half mile up to get to where we're at. But anyways, just wanted to thank everyone who subscribed. We went from 500, then to 1,000, then to 2,000, then to 2,250, all within super short time span. But none of this is to make myself a celebrity, or none of this journey that I really started 4 years ago, posting videos on Facebook, and now all of a sudden because of the likes of people like Ernest Hancock or FreedomsPhoenix.com sort of discovered me. That led me to Josh Sigurdson of World Alternative Media, which then led to Luke Radowski of We Are Change. Now we've started our own deal at Change the News, and that has led to people like Dan Dix and James Corbett and Sam Tripoli, who have just given me massive exposure, which a lot of you guys have come from there. But a lot of you don't know the backstory, and I'm not really, because of this crappy mic, I'm not really going to get into all of that right now. But just wanted to be thankful for everything, because right now what my mission is really to just expose this massive bank robbery that just occurred with everything that's gone on with this whole pandemic. And so For people that have been here for a while, you know that basically my activism started with the Federal Reserve, started with exposing what went on at the Fed, and really trying to wake people up to that, because if you don't understand the fact that you're a high-tech slave, you can't be free, which is why I've got Make America Free Again. I don't have Make America Great Again. What's great? What's great about America if, you know, the fact that our money is privately owned by private central bankers who are using the fact that they can create money out of thin air, and we owe money to them. They never had that money to begin with. It's actually not even money, it's currency. But, you know, those are all, you know, very deep subject. But I'm just here to be appreciative, to let you know that I'm still going to come at you guys with a bunch of hard-hitting information. I mean, you know, there's a lot of sacrifices that it's really taken to get to this point, you know, both in time and energy. You know, I know that I've put in my 10,000 hours. I've probably put in more than 10,000 hours when it comes to, you know, studying and reading and just being, you know, involved. Hey, Beth. How's it going? We've got Beth and her beautiful dog. What? Yep, she's in the house. And, yeah, I mean, I know I have not put in 10,000 hours when it comes to making videos, but I know I put in 10,000 hours when it comes to getting this information out there to the people. And so really, you know, just appreciate everybody's love, everybody's support. But, you know, just let everybody know out there that you can be the change, you can be the difference. I was just some nobody posting underneath fake names on Facebook that didn't want to get found, posting a lot of hardcore information that, you know, I didn't want to expose myself to these globalists. But then, you know, if you want to really have an impact, you've got to bite the bullet. And so I've bitten the bullet. Just actually in the past month and a half, my wife and I decided to, you know, go our separate ways, you know, amicably. We're still going to be there for the children. But a lot of that could have been probably avoided if I didn't want to go down this path, if I wanted to hide who it was to be me. And, you know, I know there's, you know, if this isn't stopped soon, we're going to be in a technocracy where everything, it's already basically there. I mean, people are like, oh, well, you can wear masks because it's going to prevent facial recognition. Well, guess what? They've already got you on your earlobe. They've got you down to that level from a satellite that they can tell who you are just based upon your ear. Like, do you understand where I'm coming from? And the goal is to get everyone on universal basic income. They're going to tie that into some sort of digital dollar eventually. I mean, there's already a bill in Congress right now with Rashida Tlaib talking about that. And then they're going to tie that into a social credit score, which I know you guys are smart enough to know that, but that social credit score is going to be, you know, essentially, you know, hey, you guys are talking with Picciott. He's an evil thought criminal. Everyone that I'm here for Adam Kokesh's wedding right now in northern Arizona, just complete, you know, middle of nowhere. You know, he's a thought criminal. That's going to bump down my social credit. So eventually they're going to get people to self-censor. They're going to get people on this control grid where it's essentially going to be a mark of the beast. And I started talking about this stuff before I ever read the Bible, before I started ever going down this rabbit hole, which is sort of crazy because people are like, hey, you're just ripping off the book of Revelations. And I was like, what's the book of Revelations? Now, this is probably, you know, 12 years ago, giving talks in front of, you know, like 20 people. But now, you know, we can see that this plan is coming to fruition. So, you know, we don't have a lot of time to fool around here. You know, this is do or die. And what side are you on? Are you going to sit there and just watch football? And nothing against football, but, you know, are you going to, you know, take some action? And it's not about, you know, joining the military. You know, a lot of people, patriotic people join the military, but you're not doing anything for my freedom. You're not doing anything to really change the ball game. You're just, you know, really working for globalists to help perpetuate what's going on. So, you know, with having people out there, and it's not about me. We need a million other people like me. We need people out there just exposing this left and right. And there is positivity because you see people, you know, I'm not calling for it, but you see people burning down 5G towers. You see people who are out there who are, you know, just going on like Bill Gates' Instagram page and seeing, you know, hundreds of thousands of comments being like, F you, Bill Gates. You see it on like Susan Wojcicki's, you know, Twitter page of, you know, talking about what's going on. And this is a mass awakening. And the more they try to push back, you know, there's Earn It Act right now going through Congress to try to ban encryption. And so guess what? When you ban that encryption, it's going to be put in a decentralized manner that they're not going to stop. So there's always the tighter they squeeze, the more star systems that go out between the fingers. And really, you know, as they start clamping down, you know, there's probably going to be a lot of people that end up, you know, dying from eventually what happens. we don't really know what we do know what the master plan is. There's books like Tragedy and Hope. It's like a phone book. No one's going to read it. There's A Creature from Jekyll Island. A lot of you are probably aware of that one. But again, you can have the whole plan out there. You can have people like me. You can have people like Luke Radowski. You can have people like Sam Tripoli. You can have people like James Corbett. You can have people like Dan Dix. You can have people like Josh Sickerson. Have people like Ernie. You can have people like Ben Swan. You can have people like Larkin Rose. You can have people like I hate saying Ed Kokesh right after Larkin Rose, but you can have people all out there doing it their own individual ways, and nobody's perfect, and lots of flawed. I did list individuals who all have their own flaws, but the important point is what are you doing? And if you want to criticize that somebody else isn't doing it the right way, then you start doing it. So I don't have unlimited resources to do this stuff. I took a very big bullet back in 2018, losing my job, and I'm still coming out of that. Now, there is a rapid ascension right now, but I'm still not fully out of it. And then, I'm trying to hire more people, but I can't even hire more people because of this whole pandemic. A lot of the government agencies that need to go through the paperwork to process this stuff to become a licensed advisor, they can't even do that because of what's going on. So it is a relatively good problem to have, all things considered. But everyone out there has the ability to change something in their own individual ways. Whether you're an artist. We're staying at an artist Airbnb right now, and she's trying to help wake people up. Whether you're maybe you could be a musician, like somebody like Jordan Page, and writing very powerful lyrics, exposing things that are going on and trying to promote a positive message. And maybe it could be someone like me that's, you're into finance, trying to expose this stuff. Maybe you're into communication technology, and you can, articulate what's going on with 5G, whether it's a problem or isn't a problem, or if it isn't a problem but can be a problem, articulating that. I'm not a communications expert. Everybody has their own fields that they should know, but unfortunately, too many Americans, especially guys, all they know is football. They can read a play. They know what play is coming next. Well, what play I know is coming next is this technocracy that we've been talking about. There's been guys like Patrick Wood have been warning about this since before I've been alive. Same with G.R. Griffin. Same with Ron Paul. And so right now we're at that point where I think the rubber is meeting the road. And it's up to all of us to find out what we want for our future, what we want for our children, what we want for humanity. Again, apologize for the audio on this. I did bring my good audio equipment and good cameras, but instead I'm here on a GoPro with just a normal audio on top of a rooftop out here in northern Arizona, just trying to bring you guys the truth. But anyways, really appreciate everyone who's joined the channel. This isn't really a typical video for the channel. Mainly getting into the financial weeds of things, especially with John Snyson. We get into more of the financial weeds. On Change the News, we get into more of kind of like the daily things that are going on, which unfortunately, when you're doing that, you sometimes lose the forest for the trees. So that's why it's good to get out of here and, being out here in nature and being able to reconnect, and being able to ground yourself. Anyways, that's really all I've got going on. I've got to get back to Phoenix because actually the day after my wife and I decided to separate, the landlord who, was where I'm running my business and where I was living, decided that they were going to sell our home, even though I told them the whole reason I was moving into that home nearly 2 years ago was because there was going to be a crisis and I wanted to wait it out. So, anyways, I'm not their financial advisor. They can do what they want. But anyways, I'm moving on May 4th, so that's 2 days from today, probably 1 day from when this gets uploaded. And so I've been really busy. People are like, oh, you should do this, you should do that, and we got people helping me out. We got Bitlord Dole, in the Discord group, who is actually going through. I'm saving articles on Evernote that's going into Discord. And then there's articles there, and he's then helping highlight those articles for me, so that way I have time freed up because I don't have a big, massive staff of people helping me out, and also want to thank Nicole Grinstead as well, who's been helping me upload these videos because it does take a lot of time, it takes a lot of effort, it takes a lot of resource, and a lot of times I'm doing show prep, but I'm not categorizing every word I'm going to say. I didn't know what I was going to say before I pressed play on here, and maybe that comes across. But, I'm just having real conversations. People that meet me in real life, will say that I'm, a lot like I am in videos. I don't, I think I'm a very, authentic type person. Now, Sometimes that can be good, sometimes that can be bad. Now, I think people also think that, I'm a little bit taller, maybe more dark, maybe tanner, and more handsome in real life too. So, notwithstanding this quarantine hair, and I've got probably 98% guys that listen to me anyway, so I don't even know why I'm even mentioning that. But anyways, no, it's, there really is an awakening going on. For every, action of them trying to push back against us, there's people like me, there's people like you that are sharing this information, pushing back on them. And, I do have some hope for humanity, but only if we're taking this information, sharing it, and letting people know that there is hope and that, there is, hope for a better future tomorrow. But anyways, thank you so much. Very appreciative that we're, almost at 2,500 subscribers. And, it took, basically 4 years to go from, 0 to 400. And then it took, basically a month to go from 400 to, almost 2,500. And, it's not about me. It's about getting this information out. I never really cared about having a bunch of people following me. I just wanted to have the proof of all this crazy stuff that I was saying, and then because I had all this proof going back to 2004 when I got on Facebook, but, going through and, reading old Facebook posts, nobody wants to do that. But if you have it on video, it's so much more powerful. And, my batting average is just, through the roof. Probably 2016, didn't really start making videos till, I don't know, maybe like June, July. Didn't create the Libertarian Advisor page till August 27th. And, all of 2016, I maybe had 20 videos. And what were those videos about? So it's not like I had 3,000 and, okay, I had a few that hit or miss over here. No, I only had like maybe 20 or 30. And what were they? Oh, Trump's going to win and they're going to blame it on the Russians. That was September 16th, 2016, 50 people following me. Oh, the economy is going to, the stock market is going to go, is going to rise. That rise of the stock market is going to lead to the Federal Reserve not having an excuse not to cut rates, which is then going to lead to the bond interest rates going up, which will then pop the bigger bubble, which is the bond bubble, which will then pop the stock market bubble. Then came out, once that happened, and we're talking Q4 of 2018, is when it all really came to fruition. And I had videos talking about the perfect storm is brewing and why all that stuff would happen, and then talked about how the Fed would then reverse course and then would start printing trillions of dollars. And so from a geopolitical standpoint, economic standpoint, really been, on key with, just a lot of stuff. And so, again, it's not to brag, it's just to show that, do your own diligence, do your own research, check out what I'm saying. Go back to the stuff I said 4 years ago. Watch the Trump effect and why good news is bad news underneath the presentation section of my YouTube page. There's like 30, maybe 40, I don't think it even has 40 views. And that video I was actually, it's funny, it's all full circle. I was actually the warm-up act for Adam Kokesh, for really kind of the first like liberty type speech I ever gave. Now here I am, with Adam, about 20 minutes over that way, because I was at his wedding yesterday. So it's all come full circle, and we got a lot of people fighting on lots of different issues. It's not just financial, it's vaccines. There's, they're trying to hit us 7 ways to Sunday. And so it's everybody taking action right now, because this is, this is the final countdown. This is where they're making their move. Just keep taking action and keep sharing this stuff, and really appreciate everyone who has, helped this channel grow, because it's not about me. It's about getting this information out there. But from the bottom of my heart, greatly, greatly appreciate all of you out there. Take care. Bye.